Hey there. Hope you guys are doing well. I have more Magpoles. Someone in 2 videos ago, I believe, it was the video before last video, said they liked the sounds of these. And when editing the video, I have to say that I also like the sounds. It's a nice, like, hard rubber tap. I like that. I'm also trying something a little different. So my room is an absolute mess after the last video. I've been building up to that video for like the past few weeks now. Ordering stuff, and stuff's been coming in. And it comes in boxes, and then inside those boxes are even smaller boxes, and there's tons of packaging and packing, like, you know, I don't know what that's called. What do you call the stuff that you put in packaging? Like packing peanuts, but what are those called? Like, what's the name for that? I don't know. Anyway, my room's a mess. A complete and utter mess. So I figured I would take this opportunity to kind of switch out my setup, if you will. For the longest time, I've been doing it so that my camera is back a ways, and then me and the microphone are kind of right next to each other. And I was doing that because, you know, I wanted the microphone to be as close to me as possible. Because ASMR is mostly about the sound. But a lot of people do like visual ASMR, and the setup it's not as conducive for visual ASMR, because you basically have to choose, is the ASMR going to be visual or is it going to be auditory, you know? Because if your camera's really far away, if this is your microphone and this is your camera, you can do stuff close to the camera, but it's not going to be close to the microphone, you know? So I'm trying something a little bit different with this video. I have the phone right here, and the microphone is basically right in front of it, so I should hopefully be able to do stuff that appears pretty close to the camera, but it's also picked up well by the microphone. That's what I'm hoping anyways. I am further away from the microphone than usual, so my voice might sound a little different. Not necessarily different, because it's still my voice, but it might sound less audible. The microphone might also not pick up on as many, like, mouth sounds as I'm talking, which I don't know how many of those I actually make, but I don't know. I don't really pay attention to the very minute intricacies of my speaking patterns and stuff like that. But maybe you guys do, so maybe it'll sound different to you. I'm not sure. But yeah, you'll have to let me know. Also, I'm not 100% sure that this camera is even in the right spot. I might be cut off on the top of the frame. I'm not sure yet. I haven't even... I'm going in completely blind. So you guys will have to let me know. I mean, I'm going to see how it is in the when I'm editing it. But still. I don't know. I feel like I could probably even go further with it. I don't know. Potentially. I'm going to make some sounds here. I guess I'll probably have to edit these out. But I'm going to raise the microphone up a little bit more. I don't know how high I can get it without it being in the frame, because I'd prefer it to not be in the frame if it's in this type of setup, you know, where it's like... It's supposed to be more of an illusion where, like, you're actually here, you know? That's the idea, anyway. I don't know. So now the microphone is considerably higher. I don't know if it's visible in the frame. It probably is, honestly, at this height. I feel like. I don't know. But I gotta experiment with it to figure out how it works. I could change the gain and stuff. I won't do that right now, actually, because that'll throw off the audio more than just adjusting the position of the microphone. But it's something I can experiment with in the future. In the last video, the unboxing video, I was using a very low gain because trying to find a good way to tap on these with both my hands at the same time. There we go. Anyway, I was using a very low gain because I knew there were going to be a lot of very loud sounds in that video. There's an airplane going overhead. It's a loud one. Sorry about that. Anyway, I knew there were going to be a lot of loud sounds, and the thing is, you know, you think of the gain as like the microphone's ability to pick up the minute sounds, and that is technically kind of true, because it's just increasing the sensitivity of the mic, I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% sure what it actually means, but I'm no auditory expert. I don't know. But the thing is that when you have the gain up and then you make loud sounds, they'll clip. They'll be too loud, and there's a range of like how loud of a sound the microphone can pick up at any given sensitivity. And if it's higher than that sensitivity, then or if it's higher than that range, then the information is lost and the sound is clipped, you know. So what I did in that video was I turned the gain way down so that everything was registered at a very low volume, even the loudish sounds. And then I could go back and I could boost everything to kind of the same volume. And I would say it worked. It kept everything in relatively the same volume range, which was what I was going for. The downside to that method is that because a lot of the sounds are very quiet, you'll have to boost those sounds quite a lot. And what that really means is just that there's gonna be sections of audio that you're massively boosting, you know, the gain on, I guess. And so the white noise comes through, and there was a decent amount of white noise in that video. I would say more so than in my usual videos. I would say most of the time my videos don't have a ton of white noise. And I think some people actually do prefer white noise. I would say I do not. I prefer just silent background. I have tinnitus, so I never hear silence anyway. So like white noise on top of tinnitus is just like, extra noise, you know? I don't know. Anyway, that's the downside, is that because you're having to boost the audio so much to pick up all those little tiny sounds, you get a lot more of that white noise. The other thing with that system in particular, in regard to like white noise, is that there's a big difference between the loud sounds that don't need to be boosted as much and the really quiet sounds that do need to be boosted, because you can hear, even though the sounds themselves are all very similar in volume, you can hear in the background the level of the white noise audio change, because like the volume of that particular section of audio didn't need to be boosted as much, and that's kind of bothersome. I guess the perfect situation would be using that system in a room that's just really well like audio controlled, if that even is a term. Just a room with as minimal white noise as possible. For me, that would be pretty tough because I use my PC to record the audio from the microphone. I think there's like devices that you can get that just record to like an onboard storage drive, like maybe an SSD. Like the really fancy ones probably record straight to an SSD, but you can probably get some that record to like, you know, an SD card or something. I don't know. Honestly, for an ASMR artist, I know very little about like audio hardware. I don't know. I feel like that's one of those things that you would think you would need to know a lot about, you know, if you were like trying to be an ASMR artist. But I don't know very much about audio at all, and I'm just not like, I'm almost completely unaware of the ecosystem of like audio hardware. There's a lot of devices that like I'll see, like I've seen a lot of ASMR artists that have similar like seemingly high-end audio devices, and I just don't know what they are. Anyway, like I was saying, I record with my PC, and the fans, they're not very loud, but when you're boosting the audio so much because you have the gain set really low, it will become, you know, it will come through. So ideally, I would need to, you know, get rid of that component and record to something that records silently. And then maybe I could do that method. I do think that would be the best method, because that allows you to kind of get away with doing loud sounds. And I'm going to be honest here, you know, I typically try to do ASMR that is more quiet, not necessarily quiet, because there's like, obviously I'm soft speaking right now, I'm not whispering. I'm definitely not the quietest ASMR artist by any means. But I still try to keep the volume to a minimum when I can, you know. But I don't necessarily think that that's important when it comes to ASMR. I don't know. I think that's just like the most like basic understanding of ASMR, is to just like, oh, just be quiet. You just do things quietly, and that's like, it'll give you tingles. But I honestly don't think that that's the actual component of ASMR that gives people tingles. I don't know. I guess I think about this mostly in regards to like role plays and stuff that you see. Like doctor role plays is a big one, where they're like whispering and they're really quiet. And I've done the same thing, so I'm not trying to say like people that do this are stupid or anything. But I don't think it's about being quiet. I mean, I suppose it is a small component, because potentially, you know, if you go to a doctor in real life, you know, an appointment with any, you know, dermatologist, dentist, whatever, you know, eye doctor, they're probably not going to be speaking super softly or anything. I mean, they're not going to be shouting at you, but they're just going to be speaking to you volume to volume. And in those situations, even in real life, a person can experience ASMR. So it's not necessarily about being quiet. I can respect the idea that, like, because in real life, a doctor probably isn't going to speak super softly to you on purpose, that doing that in the video could be like an extra layer of like difference from the real world, which might give people more tingles. And I'm sure it depends on, you know, person to person. Different people are going to respond differently to different stimuli and stuff like that. But I think the main component of ASMR is just that one-on-one, like, personal attention type of aspect, you know, where it's like, I think it's ASMR, you get tingles because it's like this person is attending to you specifically, you know. I don't know. I'm kind of just talking out of my ass here, but that's just my hypothesis. I don't know. Like I said, the first time I ever experienced ASMR in my life was getting my hair cut, and it wasn't quiet. It was at a mall, so there was a bunch of noise outside of the shop, because, you know, it's just a shop in the mall, so they've got like a big wide open side to the rest of the mall, and there's a ton of shit happening out there. There's people talking and cutting hair and blow dryers and stuff. It's not a quiet environment. But I got tingles like crazy as a kid getting my hair cut because, I mean, like I said, I don't really know why, but I'm just guessing it's because of that, like, personal attention. Just that, like, this person is tending to you specifically. I don't know. I feel like there's probably some psychological thing there. But who knows? Not everyone gets ASMR, so I don't think it could be really shown to be indicative of, like, strict human nature, you know? Because if it was, you would think every single person would get ASMR, and they don't. Honestly, I've been struggling to get ASMR lately. I think I might be losing it, not gonna lie. I haven't watched I've been watching videos, but I haven't gotten tingles in a while. At least not nearly as intensely as I used to get it in the past. Like, going back a few years, you know. I don't know. Can you lose ASMR? I feel like I'm losing it. Anyway, this video might be a little bit shorter, but like I said, I got a lot of shit to clean, and I don't even know how good this video is going to turn out, so we'll see. Anyway, hopefully you enjoyed. Let me know what you thought about being closer to the microphone rather than further away from me, but I'm closer to the microphone, whatever. Yeah, you'll just have to let me know. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you later.